Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. As you can tell from the background here, I am camping just south of Flagstaff at Lakeview Campground, and you can really see little tiny bits and pieces of the lakes through the ponderosa pine. But there is a trail that goes down to Lake Mary where you can swim, and you can take boats and paddle boards and all that, kayaks and stuff like that down there. I've been swimming in there once on a very, very windy day, and I got a workout because it was very hard to not get pushed down the lake. But I want to welcome you back to the Sunday Oracle card reading. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you like what you see here and would like more of the content that I'm putting out and want to be notified of videos that come out periodically, sometimes about power animals, sometimes about healing. I'm doing a On the Road Again video series, which of course there are a couple now from the Lake Mary and the Lakeview Campground area. I also have a healing playlist on working on healing my cataracts that were just diagnosed a couple months ago, and so far doing pretty good. The whole objective is to not have to go through surgery, because that is like the most last absolute thing that you should have to do to your body. That's per the shaman that I apprenticed under. But if you like what you see here and you would like to be contacted with more information or more videos as they come, please hit the like and subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It does help me grow my channel and reach more people about the healing work and the teachings that I have on the channel to help you improve your life, to help you find clarity, and to know that you are loved, that you are love. And that's what a lot of times the cards show during the week, because what I do on these Sunday draws is I always ask, what does the collective need to know for the coming week? What is in their highest and best interest to know? What is it they need to focus on? And the collective doesn't mean just here in the United States where I am. It means the collective, the whole planet, all souls on the planet. You put that energy out there, you pull in the energy of what everybody wants or needs focus on from spirit, and then it goes out. That's why it's so important to get these videos out to more people. So to help shorten the videos, because I know sometimes they can get a little long, I've already asked the question, I've already drawn the cards, and this time we had 2 jumpers. So apparently there was some information. Hopefully I don't have, oops, let me see if I can clean them a little bit, a harder time reading this book as I've had. I might have to move a little bit because I noticed the sun is coming out, which makes it a little more challenging to read the messages that come out. So this week I used Stephen Farmer's Messages from the Spirits of Nature. I'm like, what a great deck to use sitting out here in nature. Let's see what nature has to say. So the first card is the Cloud card, and it says imagination. The second card is Dandelion, and it says healing. And the third card is the Desert card, It looks like Monument Valley. I used to have a painting of that when I lived in Vegas. Had it briefly when I moved to came to Arizona in '99, and then we had to get rid of it for reasons I won't go into here. But that is the third card. Now the jumpers, let's see what those were. Ah, the island. Detachment. And it's funny. Crystal, the quartz crystal. All about focus. So what did I ask? I asked that we have a clear focus for the collective on what they need to focus on. Ha! You like how they do that? But the clear quartz is phenomenal to get clarity, get that clear seeing going. So now, let's see if I can actually read this, the book. Unfortunately, when you have cataracts, the sun, when it hits those eyes, messes up the vision where it makes it difficult to see. So let's see if we can get through this. So the first card, which is the cloud, and it's imagination. So imagination is the bridge between ordinary reality and non-ordinary reality. The world of wonder and fascination. With a simple and slight shift of attention, one can be sparked by the vision of clouds in the atmosphere. Your mind and heart are taken to a different place. You're invited to let go of the usual and familiar and instead embrace the world of inconsistency and joining with the unfamiliar, broadening your perspective and taking on new adventures. Turn your eyes upward. What do you see? Clouds paint the sky, inspired by nature's limitless imagination with no formation ever the same. Yield. Hold on, let me get in the shade here. Yield to see, some of these words are so tiny you can't see. Yield to this, urge to let it all go. Lie on the ground with your eyes to the heavens. Breathe deeply and listen with your eyes, ears, and body. Observe how water, earth, and air blend to create an elegant dance in the sky. Stretch your imagination and take action in creating that which you are inspired to do. Write that book you've always wanted to write. Paint the images in your mind that have urged you on to take a risk in this way. Celebrate by allowing your body to dance the way that it feels. Whatever begs your imagination to adventure into less than familiar territory, do it. Gotta love that one. So then we have the dandelion, which is about healing. So the message from the dandelion: for the healing that's needed now, determination is what is required. The kind that comes from aligning your will with the will of Spirit and calling on all the resources you have available. The situation you're dealing with has impacted you emotionally and physically and has severely tested your faith. I wonder if this card is part of my collective, because I do need that healing. It's been severely tested, has tested your faith. Yet it's imperative that you do whatever you have to do to restore your conviction. You've experienced a loss, and that has triggered your anger and hurt. It's not about deceiving yourself with aphorisms such as rising above it or just cheer up, but about the willingness to dig into the darkest soil of your grief and allow that pain to be acknowledged and experienced. And this last week has been a great time for stuff like that because we went through a full moon, the harvest moon, I believe is what it was called. And the full moons are all about releasing that which no longer serves. So you might have a lot of memories come up that you're like, wow, where'd that come from? Well, it's time to let it go. I call it the blooming onion of healing. You peel away layers, a little bit at a time, and you think you've done with it, but then you find out maybe a year or so later, bam, it's right back in your face, but it's at a deeper level, and more memories come up about the situation, which means you've healed down to another level of that onion, and you start peeling away and healing that level of that bloomin' onion until it's healed all the way around. And then there might be another level with more memories that come up that you had completely forgotten about, but it's still in your subconscious and it's still affecting your actions, your beliefs, your attitudes. So it's time to let it go. And the full moon is a great time to do that, where you get a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and you print, not write, you print down what it is that you are ready to let go of. And then you either bury it, or my favorite is you burn it and you let it go to spirit. So that's what it's kind of talking about. It's the healing. It's the deep level. You dig as deep as you need to dig to get to the core issue. Okay, let's see. Because I had a friend that always, every time something would happen, she'd always be like, just get over it. Well, it's not sometimes for you to just get over it. There's a process. So even with your friends, be careful of the words that you use when they're going through trying times, because you don't know what they're experiencing if you've never experienced it. So don't say, oh, I get it. I know what you're talking about. Because you don't. Because unless you've gone through that exact same thing with the exact same mindset and blocks and beliefs, you don't get what they're going through. Just like I don't get what people are going through sometimes. People don't get what I'm going through because they haven't experienced it. So if anything else, leave that phrase out of when people are telling you some of the things that are going on in their life. Don't tell them, just get over it. That is not an okay thing to do to people. You need to come back with them with compassion and love. And that statement has no compassion in it, and there's no love in there. So be careful when people talk to you about things that they need to talk about. that you come with it with consideration, compassion, and love. Another one of those little soapbox things I have every once in a while, because I've been told so many times, just get over it. It's like, no. Spirit, let's see. Yeah, so you want to allow that pain to be acknowledged and expressed. Seek support from family and friends who are able to empathetically, see there again, compassion, empathetically relate without trying to fix you, because you're not broken, so you don't need to be fixed, but the healing does need to happen. Open yourself to signs and omens from spirit that will serve to guide you through this adversity. Though it may not seem like it now, trust in your heart of hearts that there is purpose to your suffering. This too shall pass, as all things do. Visualize the plant's bright yellow flowers and thank this surprisingly powerful spirit for its blessings. Know that the deepest healing is letting go of the illusion that we are separate from Source. And just for fun, the next time you see a puffy white dandelion, pick it up and make a wish while you blow its seeds into the air. We used to do that all the time as kids. That was always fun. The third card was the desert and thirst. And trust me, when it's 110, 115 degrees outside, you get thirsty really quick. Even up here where I'm at, it was 86 yesterday, and just a half-mile walk to the lake and a half-mile back, and walking around I was like, oh my God, where? And I had water with me, and I was still thirsty. So yeah, the desert definitely will bring up the thirst in you. So the message from the desert, it isn't a lack of water that is calling for your attention now, but a vague awareness that something is missing. You feel, your life feels rather dry and bereft of anything that will quench that thirst. All your attempts at finding relief so far have been misdirected, as you have been pursuing habitual patterns that, while familiar, have not fully satisfied you. There remains that feeling of lack, of an internal dryness that you haven't been able to pinpoint, but can feel as a heartache or a malaise. This is not thirst of the body, but a spiritual thirst, a dryness of the soul, one that can be satisfied easily by drinking from the well of spirit. It's important now to attend to this spiritual something deprivation. There we go. By practicing sacred meditation, prayer, ceremony, or any other means that aligns you with your higher self. Heeding the inner promptings to express your creativity in any way that calls to you is another bridge to connecting with spirit. Honor that calling and note how it satisfies that spiritual thirst. Again, taking action on your heart's desires to help pull in. So not only just a thirst of the body, but a thirst of the soul, the spirit, seeking more connection with the collective, actually, because when we're all connected, especially with the net of light, we can feel the love and the healing that goes out. And if you need some, you just reach up to that net of light and you pull it down for yourself, because the net of light will be refilled. You know, my group does it, and I know that the grandmothers do it all the time. So it's not like the net of light is ever going to dry up. So if you need healing, love, compassion, always feel free to reach out to that net of light and pull down what you need from it, because it will self repopulate. But it also keeps you connected to the grandmothers, to spirit, to the collective. So yeah, it's a good thing to continue doing. Now we're going to get into the two cards that decided they were going to fly out onto the deck, onto the ground. I love it sometimes when they do that, because you just never know why. So the first one, remember, was the island, which is about detachment. So the message, oops, almost lost the crystal card. You're feeling distant and removed from others. It's a familiar sense of loneliness and alienation. Perhaps childhood experiences have taught you to remain aloof as a form of protection. By keeping your distance from others, you find some comfort in that there are few demands for you to meet, and you have the freedom to do whatever you want. Now, however, remaining withdrawn from your community has begun to feel like being stranded on a desert island. Oh, there's a desert again. Don't you love how they tie these all together? This self-isolation and sense of disconnection have gone on for a while. Some family and friends have progressively made less of an effort to contact you or stopped contacting you altogether. You've convinced yourself that you don't really need your relationships with people or even with spirit. Aside from any benefits going it alone, there's a deep hunger for connection. You try to satisfy that craving by filling the time with compulsive activities and obsessive and addictive preoccupations. Ooh, I'm guilty of that one. I'll admit that right there. It's time now to reach out to others, to be honest with yourself about your need to contact with family and friends. Renew those attachments despite any reservations. Recognize that your addictions and worldly occupations are not filling the void that can only be satiated by renewing and reactivating your connection to others, and most importantly, with spirit. Then the last jumper was the crystal, the quartz crystal. I work a lot with that in my healing work that I do, because it's a master healer, and it works pretty much for anything. A lot of power with it. But in this case, it wants us to focus. So let's see what we're supposed to focus on. Oh, boy, this must be really a rough week coming, because now this one is also about feeling fractured, fragmented. You're feeling fragmented due to being overwhelmed with responsibilities and worries about the future. And yes, we are. And as a result, your tension and stress level is very high. Often, when you wake each morning, you feel anxious about what the day will bring. When your attention and energy are scattered, like that they've been lately, everything on the to-do list seems like a top priority. As a result, it's been difficult getting things accomplished to your satisfaction. Let's see. Hone the scattered energy by getting clear and focusing on your priorities. Before going to sleep, make a habit of listing your task for the next day. Organize the list so your top priorities are clearly identified and note any actions to take. Then, start every day by meditating, focusing on your breath. Either place a crystal quartz before you or visualize one there. State your intention for the day out loud, trusting that the quartz crystal will amplify that intention. Regain your balance and sharpen your focus. You might pull an oracle card, whether from this deck or another, and continue these practices each day until you achieve a sense of peace and clarity. And yes, there is a lot of tension and concern, especially, well, not just here in the United States, it's all over the world, because we are in a new time. We are experiencing things we've never experienced in our lifetime. Especially for those of us that are older, this is something that we never thought we would ever live to see. And so yes, it does cause concern and worry. But no, Spirit does have our back, and we know everything will come out okay. And as my mentor always used to say, even if it means you crossing to the other side, that's still okay. The soul is still alive. It will come back because it has more work to do. So even in death, it is okay. I'm not putting that out there for anybody, but just know that life does go on. Yes, we are going through some very challenging, troubling times, and it just makes me go like this, because it's like, what the insert your favorite word after that, because when you're aligned with spirit and soul, it's hard for us to imagine how this could happen. So what do? We send more love. We send more prayers to the collective. We send love and healing energy out to the net of light, to the pillars of light. They're everywhere. We have placed them all over the planet. So the animals can attach to them. People can take what they need from them. And all you have to do is visualize, I need healing from the net of light, or I need healing or love from one of the pillars of light, and it will be instantly there at your disposal. So you are not alone. It is a collective energy. We all are one. That's what Mitakueo Yasi means. We are all related. We come from one source. Every single one of us on this planet. No one is better than the other. No skin color is better than the other. We are one. The Creator, the Great Mystery, the Great Spirit, God, whatever you call that higher being that created us, made all of us equal. And she made us with love. Because it's not a person, it's an energy source, just like we are. So when you come from that perspective, Yes, all will be well. All is well, including my eyes. So there. So here are the cards again. The cloud. Imagination. Pull it back so you can see it. The dandelion. All about healing. The desert and thirst, specifically spiritual thirst. The island, all about detachment. And then the clear quartz, all about focus. Because if you can visualize it, if you can dream it, you can create it. And that's where that saying of believe it, and then you will see it. Not the other way around. Don't say I will believe it when I see it. No, believe it first, and then you will see it. And on that note, I wish everybody a very beautiful rest of your Sunday, a phenomenal week, and we'll see you next week for our next weekly oracle card reading. And remember, walk in beauty.